certainly a lot in each team's
And
model
the strong
bag.
safety,
It's going to be a
Matt
great football
Olympia,
game.
number
There's
22.
no weather contradiction, at least at this point. No wind out there, a perfect field, and I think that
and Kyle Richardson, 8 for the Bears.
I think I'd give the nod a little bit to Capital in the early going based on their performance and their talent level, but we know that Bill Beatty has done a great job over the years with these Olympia Bears. We can look to see all kinds of things happen tonight.
Nick McCord, 5'10", 185, will kick it off for Capital, going right to left, south to north. The kick bounces over the head of the intended receiver down at the goal line, Corey Ashline of the Bears, who is down there with Kyle Richardson, bounces by him into the end zone, and as a touchback will give Olympia the football. First down, 10-20 at the Olympia end of the field. The Bears in those blue uniforms, and Olympia short in the running game. May have to throw the football, and you never know, Larry, they may be juking right there. They may run it all the time.
Well, I certainly think that Bill Beatty is going to establish what he can with the running game. If you abandon it completely, certainly it gives the Cougars great incentive just to pin their ears back and head for Ryan Harlan, the quarterback, at a appointed spot, and Olympia doesn't want that to happen.
Bears go trips left with a wing to the right, so no running back. Now the man in motion, Casterline, goes back out toward the left sideline. Harlan back to throw, fires, intercepted at the 25-yard line. Immediately the Cougars get a turnover and down to the 19 on the return. Reed Hafer for the Capital Cougars picking it off at about the 25, and the Capital Cougars in business as the first pass of the football game attempted by the Bears is intercepted. Capital first down 10 at the Olympia 19. A lot of coaches say bad things can happen. Interceptions, incompletions when you throw the ball, and also completions there, a turnover. Capital of the ball. Man in motion is Ling. Handoff on a counter play to Everson. Countering from left to right, slants down the line of scrimmage and down to the 17, so a pickup of 2 on the play for Garrett Everson, stopped by Roger Shattuck, the right cornerback for the Olympia Bears. Be second down and 8 for Capital on the right side hash mark, going to from your right to your left, open field to the left. Cougars have receiver Murray out to that right side, split backs in the backfield. Handoff to Hafer, cuts back into the middle. He's at the 10, he's at the 5, he's in the end zone. Touchdown Capital.
Reed Hafer, touchdown Capital.
Capital Cougars, Larry, converting an intercepted pass and then a 17-yard touchdown run for Reed Hafer, and Capital in the swinging gate, ready to try the extra point.
17-yard touchdown run by Reed Hafer.
The ball on a counter trap action. Reed Hafer, a little bit of a cut to the outside and then right back towards the goalpost. And the Olympia Bears over pursued a little bit early in that play. He cut right back and got into the end zone almost untouched.
McCord will try the extra point kick. 2 offensive plays, and the Cougars, after picking off an Olympia pass, take it in for a 6-0 lead with 11:18 to go in the first quarter. A kind of stunning start here as the Cougars jump right out. Now contact up front. We have encroachment against Olympia, beating the snap count, getting a little eager to try to come in and block the kick, and now they'll reset things as the ball goes down to the 1.5-yard line, half the distance, as the Cougars can now think about maybe going for 2, but I suspect they'll still try for the extra point. Out of the kick of McCord, the holder is Ben Kozad, and Alex Lindencole is the snapper, a guy with a lot of future ahead of him in football. And this back, nice snap. The kick is on the way by McCord. It is letter perfect. The teams come up the field. Capital 7, Olympia 0 will be back in 30 seconds. And the Olympia Bears, Larry, coming back now will have to from a very psychologically damaging start in this ball game.
Well, certainly for Ryan Harlan, the worst of all things that can happen. Football cliches are just that, but one of the cliches is when you come up and throw the ball, 3 things can happen. 2 of them are bad. 1 is it can be dropped, 2 is it can be intercepted, and 3rd is that you can catch it for a gain. The Olympia Bears, if they've committed to the throwing game, are going to really have to get over that one. It happened very early.
And here's McCord's kickoff for the Cougars by the deep people again. Ashline sees it fly through the end zone this time, and another nice kickoff by Nick McCord of Capital what a weapon that is when you hand the other team 80 yards to go. Olympia threw an interception on the first play of the game. Only took Capital 2 plays to get it in the end zone. Now we'll see what the Bears will come up with here.
And you know, it appears to me the Olympia Bears not trying to catch that ball on the kickoff. They just kind of stepped sideways both times, let that ball go into the end zone.
Bears with double slots and 2 wideouts. Hotvet, the running back, in behind the quarterback, Harlan. They fake to him. Harlan back to throw. The pass is tipped and incomplete. Tipped at the line of scrimmage by Alex Linenkohl. Andy Beagle, the left outside linebacker, was the closest Cougar to it, trying to dive toward a potential interception. And also the intended receiver was Fennerty. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 Bears.
And for Ryan Harlan, he's going to face that challenge with a big Cougar defensive front four putting pressure on him all over the field tonight.
Here's the same formation for the Olympia Bears. Ryan Harlan, the junior quarterback, hand off to Hotvet, and he's hammered behind the line of scrimmage. Michael Camus breaking through up the middle, takes him down for a 2-yard loss at the 18-yard line, and the Capital Cougars are just teeing off in this football game. Camus all over the play, -2.
We talked not only about their size, but about the athletic ability of the big front 5 on offense and front 4 on defense for the Capital Cougars. If those guys are making the tackles, the Olympia Bears have a long night, and they haven't established either run or pass yet.
Receivers out, trips to the left, 1 to the right, running room to the left for Olympia. On 3rd down and 12, they motion Casterline into the formation. Back to throw, Harlan fires it upfield. The catch made at the 35 for an Olympia first down. Michael Fennerty with a leaping grab, a 17-yard gain and an Olympia first down. Garrett Everson there on the stop, and boy, Harlan, under some huge pressure, Larry, stood in that pocket, standing tall, and rifled that baby to Fennerty.
Harlan got hit just as he released the ball, but a great route run by Fennerty and a nice pass over the middle from Ryan Harlan for the Bears.
Receivers out in each direction, double wings or double slots for the Bears. First down 10, their own 35, trailing 7-0. Harlan play fake, back to throw, sets up looking maybe for a screen. Now going to run the ball, gets hit, and down he goes. And he'll surge forward to about the line of scrimmage. Capital had Robert Harvey, the outside linebacker on the right side, tearing through and hit him around the knees, and actually a loss of a yard on the play for the quarterback Harlan. 2nd and 11 Bears at their own 34.
Harlan did evade Alex Linenkohl on that play, got stepped back into the middle of the pocket, but Harvey coming on a late move after the ball had been snapped a couple of seconds on a delayed blitz, got a nice job of getting a hand on Harlan and knocking him down.
Receivers Casterline to the right, Hersey to the left, and now kind of a trip formation. Fake one-way give off on a counter play. Richardson banged down, he'll lose a yard at the 33 as they try to run a little wing-back counter from left to right, and again, Capital Cougars there defensively. Scott Millenbaugh in there to make the stop. I'll tell you, Larry, if you're a football coach, you die and go to heaven, you get those 5 kids in your offensive and defensive line.
And you want to play at the top level in heaven, because those guys will take you a long way.
I'll tell you, those kids are just tremendous. Out of the huddle comes the Olympia Ball Club, 3rd and about 12 at the Bear 33 plus. Harlan checking off at the line of scrimmage, sends Casterline in motion, under pressure from Millenbaugh, turns, fires a pass upfield, catch made beautifully by Fennerty to Hollow Lang, playing the corner very tough, nails him at the 36 out toward the right sideline. 3-yard gain on the pass from Harlan to Fennerty, and it'll be for the Olympia Bears 4th down and 9. They'll have to kick it away, trailing 7-0. Harlan under intense pressure, however, got that away. Fennerty just a short gain, and the Bears send Fennerty back to kick. End over end punt intended toward Hollow. He's going to let it go. Rolls inside the 20 down the sideline, clear down to the 17-yard line of the Capital Cougars. The line of scrimmage was the 36. That is a 48-yard punt, some of it on the roll, and nicely done by Michael Fennerty. Capital will have the long green, but the Cougars have the 7-0 lead.
Well, the Capital Cougars, deep in their territory, might have been better off to fair catch that ball. It was about 19 yards on the roll after the ball hit the turf on that punt from Fennerty.
Hollow Ling just didn't want to be in the traffic, and I don't blame him. They come out of the huddle They send Ling in motion, handoff in the middle. Hafer spun down for at the line of scrimmage. He may get a yard and may not even have that much as they tried to go on that quick hitter, and down he goes in the hands of Anthony Clinton, one of those Olympia linebackers. And again, give Hafer, well, it's about a half yard, but statistically you have to give him a yard on the play. Second and a long 9. Ball on the left side hash mark, running room to the right. Capital with split backs in the backfield. Ling motions into the formation. Quarterback Kozad hands it off to Hafer again, countering into the middle on a little delay. And he goes to the 20, so a pickup on that one for the Cougars of a couple yards more. Ben Huntley, the senior defensive tackle for the Bears, on the stop. And we have a flag on the play as well. There's confusion in the Capital backfield after Ling went in motion. Then somebody went the other way, and we got illegal shift called against Capital, and that'll back the Cougars up 5 yards unless the Bears want to take that play and advance it to third down and almost 7.5 yards to go. Capital, expecting the penalty to be accepted, backs up, but we'll see if the Bears want 5 yards tacked on or they want to take the play. I think they may take the play. Illegal shift. Olympia declines it to advance it to third down and about 7+ yards.
It is, and I was looking at the scoreboard. The scoreboard has it only to second down. It should be third down. And the Olympia Bears have done a nice job. Their defensive alignment different than what Capital has been seeing. They only have 2 down linemen to the Olympia Bears, now in a 3 down lineman set.
Up to the line of scrimmage, Kozad gives it off to Ling on a reverse from left to right, cuts back at the 20, hit once, breaks that tackle out to the 25, he's at the 30, and with second effort out to the 32 for the Capital Cougars. A 12-yard gain for Halla Ling and a Capital first down. Matt Boubion, the defensive end, finally took him down, but what a terrific piece of running. Ling looked like he would go down near the line of scrimmage, but you don't know Halla Ling. Great second effort and a tremendous cutback for the first down.
And on a sweep where a lot of linemen are out leading the play out there, nobody got downfield too far in terms of linemen. They did a great job of getting into the blocks of the Bears and staying with them.
Boubion checks out of the game for Olympia, limping a little bit as the Cougars close that back to throw, loops it out to the left sideline to Casey Murray. Tries to make the catch at the 38-yard line, gets whipped and hit down by Matt Valletta, the strong side safety, grandson of Doug Sharp, who son played football at Olympia High School. This guy's got some real genes, and they're going to say that the pass was complete. Valletta hit him, jarred the football loose, but he had possession. The ball then rattled out of bounds up at the 38-yard line, so a pickup of 6 on the pass from Kozad out to the receiver, who is still lying on the ground.
Have to work a little harder to get their shoulder pads on the blue jersey.
Cougars have Garrison in the football game. Severson checking out and split backs in the backfield. The handoff to Halla Ling, fakes inside, swings out around the right side, ankle tackled, and down he'll go at about the line of scrimmage. Could not get to the corner as Conrad Davis, the free safety, helped string out the play. Valletta over there as well. Davis hanging on for dear life, and they're going to put this down at about the 37. Ling's going to lose, almost the 36. Ling's going to lose a couple on that play and bring up for the Capital Ball Club now third and a long 5. Murray splits it out to the right side. Split backs in the backfield for the Cougars. Ling on a wing right, handoff to Hafer. Hammered in the hole as he tries the right side. He'll get it up to the 40. A pickup of about 3, and that'll be it as the Olympia Bears are again there. Zach Lowe on the stop. Also Boubion looked to be in on the play. Ben Huntley, the primary tackler, defensive tackle for the Olympia Bears. And Capital will, on that play, gain 3, but they'll be in a fourth down and a long 2, and they'll have to kick it away. McCord back to do that. Conrad Davis deep for Olympia. 7-0 Capital lead. Low snap from center, picked up on the bounce. McCord booms it out of there and taken by the Bears. Davis at the 30, juking around, can't get away from a host of Cougar tacklers, and he'll go down at the 31. So about a yard return for Conrad Davis. Just had nowhere to go. And Jeff Shellstad, 6'1", 175, a senior, and Robert Harvey, one of the Cougar linebackers, on special teams after the 30-yard kick, a 1-yard return. Olympia all at its own 31.
Third possession for the Bears, best field position for them to start a drive. Not looking at this point, it appears that they're going to try to establish much of a running game. They're going to get Ryan Franklin's arm really tested tonight.
Out of the huddle they come. Harlan at quarterback, looking over the defense. Hot Vet goes over to kind of a slot to the right side. Kyle Richardson lines up in the running back spot, and they have a misalignment. Olympia, after the timeout period is taken, a first down 10 at the Bear 31. Running room to the right, receivers, 2 of them out to the left. In motion, emptying the backfield goes Richardson. Harlan straight back to throw. Looking right, now going to run the football out over the 30, tripped up and dives over the 35, and they'll say the knee went down at the 35. Michael Camus got a hand on him, reached out with that big old paw, and tripped him up. A gain of 4 for Harlan, 2nd and 6 Bears.
Michael Camus made the stop. He might be the one running football player that the Bears have that Capital hasn't accounted for. He made a nice decision to pull the ball down that time and take off the field.
And a flag on that play as they talk to the Olympia Bears. So it's going to go against Capital. The question will be, it's a penalty against Capital. Let's watch the mark off as the officials will move it up. That's a personal foul penalty, and that'll bring it clear out to midfield. And so a personal foul penalty against the Capital Cougars, and that'll take it to a first down 10 Olympia at midfield. So the Cougars, a little mistake there. Hersey comes out wide to the left for Olympia. They'll go to double slot backs at a tight end now. Hot Vet, the running back, hand off to Hot Vet, looking for a hole, not much there. Over left tackle, 1 yard to the 49-yard line. The Olympia offensive line really struggling to block this tremendous interior defensive front 4 of Capital. Tyler Camus, one of those guys with linebacker, a junior Robert Harvey, to make the stop. Pick up on that play. We'll give him 2. A couple of yards for Hot Vet, 2nd and 8 Bears. Trips left for the Bears, and Fennerty split to the right. Motion man Casterline or back to throw. Harlan winds up, loops it upfield, and overthrows Kyle Richardson in first down territory. The pass perhaps tipped and goes incomplete, wide out toward the left side at the Cougar 38-yard line is Kyle Gunter, 320-pound, 5'10", defensive tackle, and just a tremendously difficult person to block. Gets a piece of that one. Incomplete, 3rd and 8.
Once again, the Olympia Bears trying to go intermediate distance down 10 to 12 yards down the field, trying to spread the field, and the rush of Capital really causing problems for Ryan Harlan.
Out of the huddle they come. Ryan Franklin's had his trouble this year too, but it's run support in his case. Out of the huddle, open field either direction for the Bears on 3rd and 8. Harlan straight back to throw. Winds up, throws a deep ball down the sideline. Incomplete, a diving try for an interception down at the 30-yard line, but the ball's out of bounds, and diving toward the football, Nonthen Vu for the Capital Cougars in that nickel defense that they were running, and the pass intended to Richardson, well overthrown, incomplete, 4th and 8, and the Bears, Michael Fennerty, who had a 48-yard punt earlier this quarter, will punt it away, presumably. 4:12 to go, first quarter. Capital 7, Olympia 0. Bears haven't had much to roar about yet. Here's a line drive kick up the field, and it bounces off the back of one of the Cougars, Andy Beagle, off his shoulder pad and goes out of bounds. And if that had bounced inbounds and the Bears could have gotten to it, they'd have had a recovery inside the 10. But Beagle going down the field as that kick was made. It hit him right in the back of the shoulder pads or the bottom of the helmet and carried him out of bounds, and Capital will get the football at its own 8-yard line, and the kick was 40 yards, and you don't see that very often, Larry.
That was a mistake that the Cougars got away with. 2 mistakes on that.
Ball 8-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Cougars.
With his back to the play, almost cost the
and here's the quarterback, Ben Kozad, faking the ball inside and then trying to hand it off to the outside to Halla Ling. And again, the Cougars with a little bit of a problem with the handling of the ball. Valenta coming on the safety blitz tackles the Halla Ling for a loss on the play. There was a collision, though, on that initial handoff attempt, and Ling will lose a yard. Ben Huntley there to cause part of the mayhem, but the Cougars blockers and runners were bumping into each other, and that play was destined to fail from the get-go. 2nd and 11 Capital. Send Ling in motion, hand off on the dive play to Reed Hafer, lunging over the right side, and he whips out over the 10-yard line and will be taken down at about the 11, so a pickup on that one of about 4 yards for the ball carrier Reed Hafer. 3rd down and nearly 7 for Capital. Huntley once again on the stop for the Olympia Bears. Big old guy in that defensive line. 2:57 to go, first quarter. Capital intercepting an Olympia pass on the first scrimmage play of the game. 2 plays later, Hafer with a 17-yard scoring run. Now an official's timeout on the field here on KGY FM 96.9 on your dial. We'll carry Olympia, Shelton, and Tacoma. Olympia Bears, I think somebody had a helmet problem. Looked to be Clinton, the linebacker, and Boubion also coming out of the game for Olympia. Replaced a defensive end by Colton Frank, 6'1", 180, a junior. Second time Boubion has had to check out of the game. And I think in this particular case it may be, that's more than a helmet. Well, it might be his helmet. Meanwhile, back to the action, the quarterback Kozad rolling back to try to make a deep handoff, and he gets buried behind the line of scrimmage, handing the ball off to Harvey, Robert Harvey, and Colton Frank in there to make the tackle inside the 10, back at the 9-yard line. In fact, at about the 8, they lose 4, and Capital will send McCord into the end zone to punt the football away. 4-yard loss for Harvey on the carry, wearing number 23 for the Capital Cougars. In there as a backup for an injury. And here's the kick by McCord out of the end zone, over the head at midfield, bouncing at the Olympia 45, and will be down by Capital at the Bear 45 at the left side hash mark across the way. The kick is 46 yards. We have good punting in this football game. Olympia with double slots and a receiver to the right and one to the left. Open field to the right. Richardson motions through the formation. Back to throw. Harlan dancing out of the pocket. Angles out to the left sideline. Going to keep the ball. Breaks it over midfield and finally taken down in Cougar territory at about the 48-yard line. So Olympia putting that mobile quarterback, Ryan Harlan, into a running mode here, and he picks up 6 on the play. 2nd and 4. Nan Thien Vu knocks him out of bounds for the Capital Cougars. But a nice effort there. In fact, they're going to put it at the Cougar 47, give him 7 on that carry. Harlan with a 7-yard gain and some nice scampering.
Uncharacteristically of the Capital Cougars, we're seeing a lot of blitzing tonight. That time they came with a linebacker blitz from the backside. Ryan Harlan did a nice job of evading the blitz, and Harvey picking up 8 yards.
Running room to the right, Bears receivers each direction, and a slot to the left. Hotvet, who is out of the backfield, and Richardson goes in motion, emptying the backfield. Now Harlan running for his life under pressure, breaks it off to the left sideline, crosses the line of scrimmage and pushed out of bounds near the Capital 46-yard line. And another nice scramble as he was just running for his life, chased out of the pocket, finally tackled by Robert Harvey at the Capital 46. It'll be 3rd and 2, a gain of 1 for Ryan Harlan, who is showing some foot speed out there and helping the Olympia Bears. 5'10", 185, a junior, a left-hander, and some good running there.
With good defensive pressure from the linebackers dropping very quickly. A screen pass might be a play the Bears could look through the
Open field to the right, Casterline is out that way. 2 receivers left, hand off to Hotvet, tries to get there, and Beagle, the linebacker out on the right side, takes him head on, and he penetrated to the Capital 45, but I don't think he got enough inside the 45 to get a first down. Boy, it looked like he was going to be there. Give Hot Vet a yard on that carry and call it 4th and 1. And the Bears have to go here, Larry, at the Capital 45.
Go home afterwards and say we could have or should have done this or that. They're making a statement right now that they have for them, giving them confidence as this quarter winds down that they can get into the second quarter and generate enough offense to get on the scoreboard as it's happening.
And the first quarter will come to an end here. Let's pause 30 seconds for the KGY Sports Booster Club. The score after 1, Capital 7, the Olympia Bears, I think, now gaining confidence, 0. First down 10 at the Capital 40. 3.5 to start quarter number 2. Bears with 2 receivers to the right. Fennerty sets up in the slot. Harlan back to throw. End over end, kind of a wounded duck down the left sideline at about the 12-yard line, intended to Jarrett Hersey. Little contact with him and Vu of Capital, but the ball, I think, overthrown. It was end over end as well. Harlan didn't have a great grip on that football. The Bears went deep down the left sideline, incomplete, 2nd and 10.
And that was a fade pattern designed to go over the outside shoulder. I think the receiver turned the wrong way, turned to the inside, and the ball was thrown over the outside shoulder where it couldn't be intercepted.
Hersey again out to the left side. Here's a delayed handoff to Matt Valenta now in the game, playing running back for the Olympia Bears. Give Matt Valenta, that tough junior, some experience running the football in behind Hot Vet, and he'll get a yard on that play to the Capital 42-yard line before Jeff Shellstad comes up and makes a stop for the Cougars. So Valenta on the carry with a gain of 1. Valenta, this strong side safety and just a tremendous player for the Olympia Bears, will now check out of the game as Richardson comes back in. They'll have the ball on the left side hash mark, running room to the right. Capital picking off an Olympia pass in the first play of the game and then going in 2 plays later for a touchdown, leading 7-0. Running room to the right, they'll send Richardson through the formation. Back to throw, Harlan a flag on the play. Hot Vet also back in the game as a running back. I think we're going to get the Bears with an illegal procedure. And when you're struggling on offense and you're in 3rd and 9, well, you make it 3rd and 14, 15 yards to go, and that's exactly what it is. It's just that much tougher. Cougars can either really put on an intense rush or drop off. We are pretty well sure they won't be blitzing, but it's a 3rd and 14.
Well, I have to say that we've seen a couple blitzes tonight already from the Capital Cougars, who traditionally do not do that, do not play that way. I would think this would be a great opportunity for the Cougars to put pressure on Harlan.
Running room right. Hersey motions back to throw. Harlan deep throw down the sideline. Kyle Richardson a leaping catch at the 15-yard line against Vu. A tremendous catch by Kyle Richardson. He and Vu, a short little guy going up into the air. They throw the home run ball down the left sideline. 27-yard gain for an Olympia first down. Harlan to Richardson, 27 yards for the first down. What a great catch and a nice throw.
And what they did was get single coverage. They got isolation on Richardson and Richardson.
And Boo made the stop.
I think maybe the best pass for
Running room to the right, they send a man in motion through the formation. Toss sweep outside to Valenta. Back in the ball game at tailback, running around the left side. He's at the 10, he's at the 5. He scampers into the end zone, but he may have stepped out of bounds before that at the 4-yard line. An 11-yard gain for Valenta, sweeping left, first down, goal for the Bears. Ryan Hopley up to make the stop for the Capital Cougars. And the Olympia Bears are trying to get into an equalization point in this game. Valenta remains in the game at the tailback spot. Motion through the formation, handoff, sudden play, Valenta's turn, he scores! The Bears brought Colton Frank into the ball game as the slot back sent him in motion on both of those plays. He made great blocks on the corner both times. Valenta turned it up into the end zone untouched for the score, and the Bears now with Ryan Harlan holding and Josh Carter kicking will try to tie this ball game, and the Bears are fired up.
Well, certainly, I think everything changed on that personal foul penalty for the Capital Cougars in the first quarter.
And I'll tell you something else, the Bears have found themselves another running back. He may play defense, but Valletta is a tough kid. And Colton Frank in motion, leading the blocking on 2 of those plays around the left side. Nice job.
They ran the same play twice in a row, and you can see Valletta really loves that contact, looking for a capital guy to run into, trying to stay in bounds. The Olympia Bears, again, I think that personal foul on Capital has really changed the tenor of this game. If Olympia's defense is able to come out right now, stuff the Cougars, get the ball back here in the second quarter of this football game, I think the Olympia Bears have got a great chance to maybe go ahead. They're really fired up.
Ryan Hopley, the deep man for the kickoff by the Bears. Down the field by Carter at the 2. Hopley to the 5. Up the middle behind the wedge at the 10. He's up to the 15 and out to about the 17-yard line, and the Bears on special teams swarming on him. Anthony Clinton down there, one of their linebackers, and then the guy that'll play free safety, Conrad Davis, flying in on that tackle. And the Olympia crowd really getting into this. Capital had it going early in the game, and now the Cougars want to respond in a 7-7 tie. Out of the huddle comes Capital now, and in the backfield they have the split backs. Holloling on a wing to the left, he goes in motion. The handoff to Hafer on that quick hitter over the left side, and not a whole lot of running room. He'll pick up a short gain on the play. They'll take it up to the 20-yard line, a pickup of about 3 yards for Reed Hafer. Seth Monson, one of the backers, and again, Big Ben Huntley on the stop for the Capital. Cougars will have the ball just inside the left hash mark, going from your left to your right at the Cougar 20-yard line. Out of the huddle, Capital with a new running back in the football game, Logan Bryant, a 5'7", 145-pounder. And the handoff by Kozad to Hafer over the left side. Again, nothing doing. The Bears with that stout, tremendous defense of theirs. Huntley on top of things, but submarining the play. Clinton and also Corey Ashline, but Clinton was the last guy to get up. He was at the bottom of the pile, and a loss of a yard for Hafer. 3rd down 8. That Olympia defensive line very quick and aggressive.
Also, Booby on a great job of keeping outside containment, not letting the get outside.
Out of the huddle comes Capital. Split backs in the backfield, and running room to the right. Kozad back to throw, fires it out toward Holloling and throws it behind him, incomplete at the 26-yard line. And then Seth Munson comes over and delivers a real stick on Mr. Ling. And Valletta there in to tip the football, and it goes incomplete. And Capital just psychologically reeling a little after Olympia was dazzled early in the game, and McCord will have to step back to the 5 to punt it away with 9 minutes to go. 7-7 tie here in the second quarter. And they look for the good snap from Linenkohl, and McCord will be there. Let's see if the Bears are bringing the house. It is a low snap, but they have the return on. Bootens it up the left side. Off the hash mark, a catch made by the Bears, Conrad Davis at the 48 and taken down immediately at the Olympia 48-yard line by Andy Beagle, 5'11", 185-pound senior flying up there. The kick is 32 yards with about a 2-yard return maximum. And the Bears again, Larry, with tremendous field position and a little momentum in this football game.
I say this all the time. Every coach would like to only have to go 50 or 60 yards on each possession rather than 80 or 90 yards.
33-yard kick, 1 yard return.
Scored the tying touchdown that held the Capital Cougars, the vaunted #1 rated Capital Cougars, to 3 and out on the next possession. How big is this possession in this game?
Very big, and the Olympia Bears are proving something. There's no such thing as anybody being favored in this game. Out of the huddle, running room to the left side for the Olympia Bears. Their own 48. Harlan back to throw. Has Richardson behind the line of scrimmage. Slings goes out to the left sideline to midfield and down to the Cougar 49-yard line. A pickup of 3 on the play. Matt Garrison, the Cougar strong safety, and Andy Beagle, one of the backers over there. So Richardson, a 3-yard gain on the completed pass from Harlan. Harlan, a 3-yard completion, but it helps spread out the defense a little bit. And Harlan's running ability also, Larry, is causing Capital to think a bit rather than just coming after him.
Well, he's got some running ability, and that forces the Cougars offense, far field and let him get into the second.
Casterline wide to the right. Richardson to the left. Toss sweep to Valenta, turning the corner and running through a tackler down to the Cougar 45-yard line. Jimmy Hotbed out in front of him, the fullback blocking, and a Vu up to make the stop on Valenta, and the gain takes it down to the 45, so Valenta picking himself up 6 yards on that one. It'll be 3rd and 2. Valenta is out of that Sharp family, Larry. He is one tough cookie.
The last couple of plays, they're running that quick pitch, getting a block down
Time
from
out,
the wide
Olympia.
receiver on Tyler.
Back at Ingersoll Stadium, Bears to the football, 3rd down 2 at the 45-yard line, and it's a long 2 at that. They motion Hersey, Ryan Harlan back to throw. The pass tipped at the line of scrimmage. Out to the left side, intended to Richardson with Harvey in the coverage. And Tyler Camus, victimized a couple of times tonight, coming hard on the rush, tipped that pass away. Incomplete pass for Harlan. And the Bears will send Fennerty back to punt away for the 3rd time. We have 7.5 to go, 2nd quarter. Capital leading 7-0. Halla Ling deep for Capital, and they'll kick the ball, and it'll bounce at the 15 and rattle out of bounds as it takes a backward hop to the 17-yard line. So the kick not deep, it's 28 yards.
See whether or not they can get Richardson isolated against Vu out here on the wing. Vu on the short side for the Capital Cougars, but he's getting strong safety help. And so if Richardson comes out with that double team match.
Out of the huddle they come, the Bears running room to the left. Back to throw, Harlan straightens up, sends it up the sideline, right incomplete. Overthrown, Casterline working on Halla Ling at about the Capital 15. The pass overthrown. If it had been anywhere near the two of them, it would have been closer to Halla Ling. It goes incomplete. 4th down 17. And by the way, the reason Vu, the little 5'6" guy, is out there on that corner is because Garrett Everson was shaken up on that completed pass for Capital early in the game and hasn't been available, and Vu's done a nice job, but and that time they went after Ling and it went incomplete. Fennerty back into punt for Olympia, standing at his own 40 in a 7-7 tie. Line drive kick up the field, bounces by the Capital Cougars intended return guy, Halla Ling, and into the end zone. The kick is 47 yards. Out of the huddle come the Cougars, running room to the left. Split backs in the backfield. Bryant and Hafer. Kozad straight back to throw. Winds up, throws it deep up the left side. The pass is intercepted by the Bears if they have possession before Ashline flies out of bounds with the ball, but it isn't caught. It's an incompletion. They had a great double team on the intended receiver out there, Casey Murray. And Ashline had his hands on the ball, and also there Conrad Davis. It goes incomplete. 2nd down 10. I like the call, though, trying to stretch the field, because that Olympia defensive line is really causing Capital nightmares. Here's a handoff given inside to Reed. Hafer twisting and turning on that quick hitter over the 25 and surges up to the 30, maybe the 31, and if he does, he's got a 1st down for the Capital Cougars. It is an 11-yard gain for Hafer and a Cougar 1st down. Conrad Davis up for the Olympia Bears to make the stop. 3:57 to go in the first half, a 7-7 tie. That Capital score, Olympia's only given up 17 points in 3.5 football games. Out of the huddle, Capital again, the quick hitter to Hafer, and nothing doing this time as the Bears have Clinton, the linebacker, Booby on the defensive end, and also Seth Monson, one of the linebackers, to make the stop. No gain on the play for Hafer. 2nd down and 10. Boy, I like Clinton. Very active, Larry. Low center of gravity, and he is just mayhem. He's been in that Cougar backfield all night long.
2nd and 10.
Running room to the right. Here's a counter play handoff to Halla Ling. And Robert Harvey on the carry. Countering from the wingback spot left to right. He loses one at the 30 as Brian Lusby, 15-pound senior defensive end, gets his first tackle of the night. A loss of a yard for Harvey, and it'll be 3rd down 11. If you like defense, you got to love this football game. 7-7, and these two teams are having at it down there, no question about it. And if anybody thinks you can move Olympia easily, you are wrong. Same thing on the other side of the ball for Capital. Cougar come to the ball, 3rd down 11. Kozad looks over the defense, back to throw, dumps it off to Ling. A swing pass to the left side, he's at the 30, and a dangerous guy, however, straightened up and drilled at the 32-yard line and knocked out of bounds. A pickup of 3. Kozad through the air, a 3-yard completion to Halla Ling. And that's it. It'll be 4th down and 9 as the Bears stop made defensively at the sideline by Conrad Davis once again. And Capital once again with McCord kicking the football. He's standing at his 18-yard line. And a punting exchange for both ball clubs tonight. Here come the Bears, but he gets the kick out of there high, end over end, bouncing at the 30, and it's going to hop out of bounds at the Olympia 27-yard line approximately. The kick 41 yards, and Fennerty and McCord have been big weapons for Bears with 2 wideouts, hand off to Jimmy Hotvet, the fullback. Got to come up the middle. He'll get a couple to the 29 or 30-yard line. The Bears have Brent Williams also in the game, a 6-foot, 170-pound sophomore on one of their wide spots, or a slot back. Michael Camus on the stop after the 2-yard gain on the play. Also Reed Hafer, who had the pass interception that set up the lone Cougar touchdown, also in on that tackle. Minute 44 to go in the half. The Bears are going to take their good, sweet time bringing the plays in. They don't care if they do anything but get this clock killed in a 7-7 tie. Spaghetti Bowl action out of the Huddle Olympia. Hotvet is the running back with a little trips formation. Handoff, Hotvet. They find a little bit of a hole over the right or the left side, and the stop made on the play for the Capital Cougars. Andy Beagle, Reed Hafer there for Capital, also McCord, and nice job for the Cougars defensively. A pickup on that play for Jimmy Hotvet of Olympia of about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4, and the timeout will be taken on the field with 1:01 to go in the half. 3rd down 4, and Olympia can't milk all of the clock here. If they don't get a first down on this one, it will be if the Cougars kill the clock in a punting situation, always a threat of a block or a run back, so we'll see what happens. Clock down to 42 seconds, 7-7 tie. Hotvet again, the fullback. Richardson goes in motion. They'll hand it off to Jimmy Hotvet, and a surge over the right side out to the 35. Hotvet picks up a couple, and it will bring up for the Olympia Bears 4th and 2. Reed Hafer again on the tackle. 22 seconds to go in the half as the Cougars will call man Ling, as Fennerty will drop to punt it for the Olympia Bears along the right side hash mark, standing in his own 20. 28 seconds as they put some time back on the clock here at Ingersoll Stadium in the second quarter. And Olympia in the 4th and 2. Low snap, Fennerty as the return is on. Booms the kick up the field, bounces by Ling, clear down the sideline and inside the 15 and rolling down almost to the 10-yard line with a flag up at the 33. What a tremendous roll on the kick. Ling really, as it was kicked away from him, had no chance, and that ball goes 54 yards for Fennerty. The clock running down to 18 seconds. And now let's see what with no return, let's see what the penalty flag will be. Capital would have had the ball down around the Cougar 11-yard line where the official is standing to mark it. Now they're talking to Olympia, and we've got something upfield at about the 34, and it is an illegal block in the back, a hold, but an illegal use of the hands against Capital, and so Olympia probably would decline that because the field position where that ball was killed is better down at the 11 unless it happened before the exchange, and then they'd go, I suspect, half the distance from the point where that ball rolled dead. But in Olympia, if there's a decline available, and that is exactly what happens. Capital first down 10 at the Cougar 11, and what a weapon Fennard he has been for the Bears tonight. And they did. It was before the exchange, so the half the distance takes it down to the Capital 6-yard line. I suspect they're going to take a knee. Cozad does exactly that to let the clock run at 14 seconds to go in the half, and it continues to run as Cozad loses a yard on the play. 1 yard loss for Cozad running as he took the knee, and the halftime is here. The kickoff brought to you by Tumwater Valley Bar and Grill. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the Tumwater Valley Bar and Grill has the meal that is sure to please you. Tumwater Valley Bar and Grill at the Tumwater Valley Golf Course. Carter ready to kick it off the left near side hash mark, going right to left. Hopley deep for the Capital Cougars, standing at about the 10. The kick is going to come short to the 17, up the right side to the 20, 25, 30, 35, and diving straight ahead out to about the 40-yard line. Logan Bryant on the return, and Jordan Keown, 6'3", 225, a senior on special team, takes him down, tripped him up, and he'll say the knee went down at the 39. Logan Bryant, 5'7", 145, a senior, with a nice return there. Out of the huddle comes the Capital football team. First down 10, running room out to the left side. Wing on a ling there. Cozad a play fake. Angles left on the run. Silverman and Lusby after him. He loses a handle on the football. Big scramble at the 26 or 7-yard line. And I think it is recovered by the Capital Cougars. Cozad may have gotten back on the football. Joseph Silverman flying in there along with Brian Lusby, and as Cozad angling left turned to try to do something with the ball, he was hit, it came out, he got on it back at the 27. Silverman and Lusby were the guys, and the loss to the 27, they need to go to the 49, a 12-yard loss for Cozad, 2nd and 22. Out of the huddle, the Cougars. They send Harvey in motion, and now Haver motions, or Hafer does. Cozad on a quarterback keeper up the middle over the 30. Kind of a draw play to the 35 and back up to around the 36 or 7 with a flag on the play. Back in the backfield. That it would indicate a holding, or is it an illegal shift? That's right. 2 guys went in motion, so the gain, which would have been nearly 10 yards, is going to come back because of the illegal shift, or the Bears will take this one to send it back to the 22 and bring up now 2nd and 27 yards to go.
Well, that wasn't a 5-yard penalty, that was a 17-yard penalty because Cozad
right.
and that keeper really did pick up some nice yards from the Capital Cougars. Another nail in their coffin. Boy, that was a good mistake.
Yeah, what a rush by Lusby and Silverman that time for the Bears, who were really teeing off up front. Capital of the ball, running room to the right side. Cozad looks as the Bears show blitz, back to throw. Here's it outside, has his man at the 25 to the 30 and knocked down at the 31 near the right sideline. Catch on the play made by Matt Garrison, and Matt Valletta with a big stick coming up from the secondary to knock him down, and Anthony Clinton there as well. That brings it up to the 31. And so they get a 9-yard gain on the pass completion to Garrison from Cozad, and it'll be 3rd down for the Cougars at the 31. They still have 18 yards, almost 19 yards to go in this 7-7 tie here early in the 3rd quarter. Capital taking a lot of time to get a play in. Cozad and Garrison both running out there from the sideline, clear across the field to the right side hash mark, running room to the left. Ling is on the wing left. Cozad calling signals, play fake, rolls out to the left side, going to keep it himself. He's at over the 30, he's at the 35, cuts back, and it drills him behind and down at the 40-yard line. 9-yard running gain on a design kind of quarterback draw keeper combination out to the left side, and then Brian Lusby coming from the back side at defensive left end, running clear to the other side of the field, gets Cozad after a 9-yard gain, 4th and 9. They'll have to kick it away. Not a bad recovery by Capital, but not enough for the first down. The Cougars only had 10 guys out there. Finally, the last one comes out, and the punter, McCord, back to kick the ball to Conrad Davis of Olympia, standing at his own 20. Good snap. Here comes the rush. Gets the kick down the field, end over end. Davis fumbles it at the 25, runs back at the 20, picks it up at the 15, hit by one man, comes off the hash mark, breaks it out to the 20, and finally dives ahead to about the 21. An adventure there for Conrad Davis, fumbling the punt, picking it up at the 15, returning it to the 21, finally tackled by Reed Hafer and also Andy Beagle, and the kick was 40 yards by McCord, and a very good bounce that time, Larry, as Conrad Davis had some room, and I think he looked up before he caught the ball, wanted to run, and coughed it up, but he got it back.
Fortunately for the Bears, it was a nice kick that time, and it out-distanced the coverage and allowed him to have that error and still be able to go back and get the ball.
Bears with double slots. They send Fennerty in motion. Toss sweep to Hotvet. Gets a good block on the corner, turning left over the 20, but then a submarine tackle for the Capital Cougars by Vu. Tremendous job coming up from the right corner. Submarines the ball carrier and takes him down at the 22-yard line. A 1-yard gain for Hotvet. The guy on the corner got blocked by 3 Bears. Beautifully done. But Hotvet unable to turn the corner, and Vu with a nice play.
Just not a great burst of speed that time from Hotvet. He wasn't able to get out there and square his shoulders up and down the field, and Vu with a great open field tackle.
Bears with receivers out to the right, 2 of them, 1 to the left. Hotvet, the running back, off the right hash mark, back to throw. Harlan winds it up, throws it up, and throws it incomplete at midfield up the left sideline, intended to Matt Richardson, with Vu again in the coverage in there, playing in the place of the injured Garrett Everson. And for Olympia, 3rd down 9 on the incomplete pass. Harlan wasn't going to have that one picked. He threw it right to the sideline. It went incomplete.
You know, interestingly enough to me, Dick, on that particular play, Vu turned around and put his back to the quarterback and just went streaking up the field, and they lofted that ball out there. I think Richard goes down 10 or 15 yards and turns around and catches the ball right in the belly if they just run that on a hoof pattern.
Harlan and his team up there, 3rd down 9, straight back to throw. Sets up, looks, now going to run a quarterback draw right up the middle. He's over the line of scrimmage, but not by much, to the 24, and down he goes. 2-yard gain for Harlan. For the Bears, it'll be 4th down and 7 yards to go as Reed Hafer makes the stop, as this defensive struggle, Larry, continues. Neither team giving a quarter on defense.
Both teams on defense playing very well the first possession of the second half.
Fennerty back to punt. Ling at the Capital 45. Let's see what kind of field position this will be. A line drive kick. Halla Ling picks it up at the 42 in traffic and is buried immediately. And a return of a yard to the 43 as Daniel Swenson, a 6 foot, 160-pound senior for the Bears, gets down to make the stop at the Capital 43. Not a real deep kick, but a line drive one. 33 yards by Fennerty, and very effective. Now they're going to mark it at the 44. But in the meantime, Halla Ling, no factor in this game at all offensively, Larry.
Well, he's not bad in that time.
They're not using him.
I think a risky move by Halla Ling to try to catch that ball in traffic. He has some great coverage on that.
Hopley in the game, splits out to the left side for Capital. Ling on a wing right. Running room to the right. They send Ling in motion. Play fake, and then they give it off to Ling with a flag on the play, trying to run a reverse and nowhere to go, as Clinton has come flying in from the linebacker spot, has Ling in his grasp back at the 37. Also a flag on the play as soon as the ball was snapped, and Cozad turned, and once again Ling went in motion, and a little collision with one of his backs, and it'll go as an illegal shift. They had 2 people moving, And unfortunately, that'll cost the Cougars unless they want to take a down here as they talk to Conrad Davis and others. But what a defensive effort again by Clinton. I mean, Halla Ling was juking around and trying to fake people out. He had nowhere to go, and he went down. And the loss on that play for Halla Ling, as we are in a second down in about 7 yards, actually. And the handoff up the middle, nothing doing for the Capital Cougars fullback Reed Hafer as they try to run him on the quick trap. He's down at the 36-yard line, loses another yard, and Ben Huntley right there to do the job. Cougars headed the wrong way now with a third down and 18 yards to go. So Ling loses 7, Hafer loses 1, and the Olympia defense is as advertised. These guys are good in the stop department, no doubt about it, and so is Capital. Cougars come to the ball, running room to the right, third down long. Ling goes in motion, hand off to him on a sweep, hand in, down, and Clinton is there again. That Olympia linebacker with penetration right up the middle. He'll come off the bottom of the stack along with Joseph Silverman. Tremendous effort by those two. Silverman really the guy that made it happen. And the Bears take him down for a loss at the 31. 5 more yards on the loss that time for Halla Ling. And the Cougars, McCord in the game to punt it away. Deep Conrad Davis for Olympia. 7-7 tie. Ball back to McCord. The Bears have the return on. Here comes the kick. Kicking away from Davis. To high bounce at the 45. He's going to let it go. Rolls inside the 35, I should say. And down to about the Olympia 32-yard line. McCord kicking away from Davis and getting an end-over-end type boot that bounced, and he did a really nice job. 5:44 to go, third quarter. The halftime score of 7-7 still in effect. Olympia with 2 receivers left and a wing that way. Hot Vet, the running back, wide out to the right as well. Open field to the left. Harlan straight back to throw. Winds up, throws it deep, has a man breaking open up the left sideline. Overthrows Fennerty, incomplete at the Cougar 35-yard line. He had beaten Garrison. He had beaten Vu. He had beaten Hopley the past too long. Boy, I'll tell you, if Harlan gets a little less air under that one and Fennerty catches it, he's gone. Incomplete pass, 2nd and 10.
Not only that, Dick, but from that formation, the Olympia Bears also had Kyle Richardson streaking right down the middle of the field. Not a Capital Cougar within 10 yards of him. The coaches up here will see that. They'll come back to that formation and look to find Richardson open over the middle. 5:38
to go in the third quarter. Olympia, 2 receivers again to the left side. Second down, 10 at the Bear 30. Harlan tosses outside to Jarrett Hersey. He makes the catch at the 30 up to the 35 and hauled down there, working up off the left side hash mark, coming toward the near left sideline. Again on the play of 5 on the pass from Harlan to Jared Hersey. Halla Ling up to make the stop for Capital, and it'll be for Olympia third down 5 at the Bear 35-yard line. 5:12 to go, third quarter, 7-7 tie. Capital scored on its second offensive play of the game after intercepting an Olympia pass. Then the Bears started winning the field position battle, got an equalizing touchdown from Matt Valenta on a short run, and we're at that level. Bears send trips now out to the left side after 3 guys go in motion, 1 to the right. Toss sweep to Valenta on the play, or to Hotvet, I should say, on the play the Bears used to score the touchdown. Circles left, cuts back, and gets up to the 36, a 1-yard gain on the play. Tackle by Robert Harvey, who comes up limping, one of the Cougar linebackers, and he's still put a little tender, gingerly walking, but I think he's going to be okay. A 1-yard gain for Hotvet, and for Olympia, 4th down and 6, and another punt coming for Fennerty. And you know, this game could come down to one of these punts being blocked or something, Larry, to set up the field position.
Well, I think offensively, the Olympia Bears doing a great job.
4:42 to go, third quarter, and Garrison and Ling now the twin safeties. Nice snap from center. Fennerty, end over end kick goes to Garrison at the 36, breaks to the right sideline and tackled and thrown out of bounds at the 41-yard line by Conrad Davis, who's having himself a big night for the Olympia Bears. On defense, the ball returned from the 36 to the 41. Now the punt by Finnerty that time, low end over end, 31 yards. But again, a very effective kick, and the Bears getting people downfield and doing a great job in special team cover.
Their kick coverage has been outstanding tonight. As many punts as
Bears defensively, as the handoff goes into the middle to Reed Hafer, and he plunges over the 40 up to the 42-yard line. So a gain on that play of actually the line of scrimmage was the 41. They keep moving that ball about a yard away from where they initially mark it on the exchanges. 1 yard gain for Hafer. Boubion on the stop along with Huntley. And Capital with a new quarterback in the game, Evan Petty, 5'9", 165, a sophomore in the ball game for Kozad. At quarterback, running room to the left side for the Cougars. Motion man now on the keeper play is Petty, and he gets clocked as he tries to turn the corner. Coming around the right side, Olympia, 3 people to the football, and the first one there was Brian Lusby. Also there, Clinton and Huntley, a committee meeting the quarterback, Evan Petty, on the sweep. Evan Petty on the carry, and he'll get a yard.
Great job also by Colton Frank, who's
Third down, 8, Capital, running room again to the left. They turn, quarterback Petty hands it off on the counter play. Ling breaking into the middle, tackled by 4 or 5 Olympia Bears, carries him with him clear up to the 48-yard line, but he will be 3 yards shy of a first down. He picks up about 4 on that play, almost 5. Give Ling 5, but is shy of the first down, and Colton Frank on the stop for Olympia. Capital 4th and 2. Roger Shattuck from the corner also there, and once again McCord in this punting contest will boot it again for the Capital Cougars. Olympia sending Conrad Davis deep, although Capital starting to win the field exchange, the position exchange on the punts anyway, and the kick coming down the sideline will bounce at the 15 and roll out of bounds somewhere near the 10-yard line, coming up the near what will be left sideline for the 7-7 tie. Running room to the right, Ryan Harlan, a handoff to Matt Valenta in the game now, playing the fullback spot for the, no, it's Hotvet, excuse me, not Valenta, but Hotvet on the carry, and not much there, 1 yard, as Tyler Camus makes the stop for the Capital Cougars at the 10-yard line. So the carry by Hotvet, just 1 yard.
You mentioned a moment ago about Capital winning field position. The Olympia Bears are in some trouble now inside their own 10-yard. Not much offense going for them tonight. This is going to be a huge break for Capital if the Bears can't move the football.
Out of the huddle comes Olympia. Harlan back to throw, steps up at the 5, now going to run a quarterback draw, and that will draw the tackle of Kyle Gunter, breaking through the middle, and the big guy hauls him down at the 7-yard line. -3 for Harlan. That was just a quarterback draw all the way, and Kyle Gunter was not fooled. 5'10", 320, and he just enveloped Ryan Harlan for the loss. It'll be 3rd down, 12 Bears.
Good press coverage for the Capital Cougars front 7. Good coverage in the backfield defensively for the Capital Cougars. That time Harlan got back into the end zone. Nobody open. Tried to run out of trouble and ran right into the defensive player Gunner's hands. And the Olympia Bears now in deep 3rd and long.
They bring Hotvet out of the game, empty the backfield now as Harlan retreats to throw. Going to run another draw. He's at 10, he's at the 15, at the 20. Has an Olympia first down as he dives up to the right side hash mark to the 25-yard line. Nice effort there, Andy Beagle on the stop. And again, as they put it at the 25.
Huge play for Ryan Harlan and the Olympia Bears.
Running room to the left side. Bears receivers that way. Harlan play fake. Back to throw. Pumps, fakes, going to run it again right up the middle. And he's out over the line of scrimmage from the 25 to the 28. That time a coverage issue. He had no one to throw to and just did what he could rather than trying to throw a bad one. Tackled by Hafer once again. Football marked at the 29, a pickup of 4 by Harlan, 2nd and 6.
Most coaches will take 4 yards on first down. A good decision by Harlan.
4-yard
throw the
gain.
ball into pass coverage and
Second and
take a
6.
chance on getting it picked. He got 4 positive yards.
Andrew Ryan checks into the game, a 5'11", 170-pound senior for the Bears, replacing Kevin Casterline. And now the quarter comes to an end before the Bears are able to snap the football, but we are through free in the Spaghetti Bowl. The Olympia Bears will have a 2nd down and 6 coming at the Olympia 29-yard line. 12 minutes of football to go. Olympia with 2 receivers to the wide side of the field, the left side. Ryan Harlan, who's running, has done the Bears a lot of good in this game. Checking over the defense with Jimmy Hotvet in behind him. Hands it off to Hotvet right up the middle, 30, 35, 40, and slants ahead to the 44-yard line. 15-yard gain for Jimmy Hotvet as the Bears blow a big hole up the middle. And finally, Ryan Hopley in the secondary makes the tackle. A 15-yard gain for Hotvet and an Olympia first down at the 44-yard line.
From a spread position, the Olympia Bears with that quick trap up the middle, caught the Cougars looking outside. Great run by Hotvet.
Wideouts each way. Harlan play fake, rolls right, looking for someone, chased out of the clock, hit once by Gunter, and then hit by the second, or Millenbaugh, I should say, was the first guy there to hit him, and then tackled back inside the 35 by Michael Camus. Big loss on the play. Let's see where they will spot the football. It's back at the 33-yard line, and do we have a flag out there? Yes, we do. Right at the end of that play. It's across the way. I see it in front of the chain at the left sideline, and the officials conferring now. Boy, what a defensive job by Millenbaugh that time, and Michael Camus for Capital taking down the quarterback, clear back at the 33-yard line. A big loss on that play of about 11 yards, but let's see what the penalty will be.
I believe the Cougars had 10 players on the field.
Oh boy, oh my goodness, too many players on the field, and the Olympia Bears obviously are going to say, yeah, we don't want a loss on the play, we'll take that one. Is that ever huge? A little mental burp there by the Cougars. So from the 44, it'll be a 5-yard walk-off. Too many people on the field up to the 49-yard line, so no rushing play there, and a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 5 Olympia at the Bear 49. 11-19 to go in the game. Capital a slight favorite coming in, and a 7-7 tie as the Bears threaten here at midfield. Running room to the left. Delayed handoff in the middle. Hotvet, and he'll have a pickup of 1. A yard to the 50-yard line. And the stop made by Hafer for the Capital Cougars, and Adam Litke, 5'8", 165-pounder, in on the stop. It'll be 2nd down now and 4 yards to go. That was a 1st and 5. Hotvet getting a yard. The Olympia Bears willing to chip away, take what they can get, win the field position battle, run the clock. Boy, I'll tell you, if you want to draw it up on a team that came in without experienced running backs, the Bears have done a nice effort. Trips to the right for Olympia. Off the right, or to the left, off the right hash mark. Harlan turns, flips the ball out to Richardson in midfield to the 45. The 40 has a first down at the Capital 38 or 9-yard line. And they'll spot it at the 39, a 10-yard gain and a first down. Harlan to Richardson, just a little flip out on the flat behind the line of scrimmage. Matt Garrison up to make the stop. They're going to put it at the 38, giving me 11 yards and a first down.
What a great play. Ryan Harlan with an outstanding pass on that. 3-man formation out to the left side. 2 guys come off the line of scrimmage, take the defensive backs away. Richardson stays right where he's at, catches the pass, and picks up the 1st and 10.
Running room right, trips out to the left for Olympia. Handoff to Hotvet, nothing doing as he tries to barrel over the left side, and the Capital Cougars are there defensively on the bottom of the pile. Michael Camus, and also there Tyler Camus, and also Robert Harvey. Good pursuit to the football, no gain for Hotvet In fact, he loses about a half yard, statistically not a yard, so it comes in. Well, I'll give him a yard loss. A large loss? No, let's try a yard loss. Anyway, it'll be second down and a long 10 or a short 11 for Olympia. Fennerty on a wing right, 2 receivers right. Harlan back to throw, has Hersey on a quick out to the right sideline, tackled immediately and thrown down. Basically a short gain on the play, a completed pass. Matt Garrison on the stop, and the pickup will be 2 yards to Hersey on the throw from Harlan. Again, the little out pattern, quickly out to the left side. Clock continuing to run, 8:55 to go. A 7-7 tie. Olympia and Capital. 8:48 left in this Spaghetti Bowl. It has not been on a high-octane thriller, but a great defensive battle by both of these teams. Out of the huddle, Olympia now. Third down and about 9 yards to go. Send a man in motion. Richardson fake it to him. Harlan back to throw. Rifles it upfield. The pass is incomplete through the hands of the intended receiver at the 25-yard line. Fennerty couldn't quite haul it in, and that would have been a first down had the pass been a little shorter and Fennerty been able to reel it in. Yet now for Olympia goes to 4th and 9 at the Capital 47-yard line or 37-yard line, and presumably Olympia will kick it away to try to get Capital as deep as possible. Although Harlan is staying in the ball game, so they may not kick it after all. And figuring if they kick it, it might go in the end zone and they'd be out to the 20 anyway. But do they really want to give the ball up at the 37? Well, they say, we think we can get a first down. Running room to the right, 2 receivers out to the left. Harlan barking the signals, looking over the defense, now pulls away from center, and we have a flag on the play. And do we have delay of game against the Bears for taking too much time? That's exactly it. Now, Larry, no question, they punt.
I'm not so sure that wasn't the plan.
Yeah.
The delay on that, just to try to give Capital the thought that here's something we're going to do. We're not afraid to come out. But I think delay was in the plans all along.
And they'll take 5 yards. Gives Fennerty a little more room for kicking. Also ran some more time off the clock. And the Capital Cougars, with 8:27 to go, send Ling back along with Garrison. And here comes the rush, and Fennerty kicking it away from Ling. It'll fly out of bounds as it goes inside the 20. A line drive kick. He wasn't interested in distance, and we'll see where they're going to mark this football. 8:22 to go in the game. Capital with the ball. First down 10 at their own 18-yard line. Staying in the ball game at quarterback is Evan Petty. A fumble of the football and a snap from center, and Olympia may be on the ball. The Bears have it. Now the recovery for Olympia coming up from New. It might have been Silverman, and the turnover at the 19, and the Bears have it first down 10. Did we get the fumble recoverer? Yeah, we'll get it for you in a minute. Olympia with running room to the right. Harlan play fake, back to throw, winds up, throws the pass, has his man Fennerty inside the 10, ridden out of bounds at about the 8-yard line by the Capital Cougars. Fennerty with a leaping grab. Anthony Clinton, by the way, recovered the fumble moments before, and this pass play takes the football down to the Capital 7-yard line, 11-yard play. The completion to Fennerty from Harlan. First down goal, Olympia at the Capital 7. Running room to the right, the Bears send the man in motion. The turn, toss sweep to Valletta, circling left on the play on which he scored in the first half. Breaks it off toward the left sideline and will be hauled down near the 5-yard line. So Valletta will get a pickup of at the very most 2, and it may be less than that. 7:40 to go as Michael Camus is in on the stop along with Beagle, and the ball is at the 6. A gain of 1 yard as Capital will take a timeout with 7:35 to go. It goes Olympia, second and goal at the Capital 6. Running room to the right, they send Hotvet in a little bit of motion, turn the hand off to Valletta, breaking it up the middle, breaks the tackle into the end zone, touchdown Bears. Now I'm going to tell you something about Valenta. A streetcar named Desire on that one, Larry. Hit at the line of scrimmage. There was nothing there. He broke the tackle and just bowled into the end zone for the score. What a great effort by Matt Valenta.
I think the tackler was Alex Linenthal, the attempted tackler on that play.
And Josh Harder out of the hold of Harlan, the extra point kick up and good. And with 7:29 to go in the ball game, Olympia 14, Capital 7. Rolling an upset, not a shocker, but an upset here in the Spaghetti Bowl. Olympia generally a 7 to 10 point underdog, depending on which people rated the football game. And right now, Olympia has a 14 to 7 lead. My wife Carolee said this game was going into overtime, and she just passed me a note a while ago that said they laughed when I said overtime. She still may be right, but Capital has to get something going now on offense. And whether you have a sports or orthopedic injury, Olympia Physical Therapy is there to help get you moving again. Another member of the KGY Sports Booster Club, Ryan Hopley at the 10 with a return out to the 15-20 and up to near the 25-yard line, as the Cougars once again have a long way to go in not a big strike offense. Anthony Clinton once again on the stop. They'll mark it at the 29-yard line. Olympia Physical Therapy wants to get you moving again with same-day appointments. A member of the KGY Sports Booster Club, and the Cougars need a drive now, Larry. Evan Petty in the ball game, hands it off on a quick hitter in the middle, and there's just not much there, about a yard on the carry, and the carry made by Jake Holman with a flag on the play. I didn't even think Holman would be able to play. 5'11", 195-pound senior, and Matt Boubion on the stop with a flag on the play. Illegal motion will be the call. Illegal shift.
That's the fourth one in this game against the Capital Cougars.
And the Cougars now they wave off. Is it an inadvertent flag? I think it is. Illegal motion against Capital. Nope, they just decline it. It's just declined. So a 1-yard gain for Jake Holman in the ball game for the first time, and he gets a 1-yard gain. Petty, sophomore quarterback for Capital, 2nd down 9. Running room to the right side, deep hand off to Holloling, circling right, turns the corner, and then the swarming Olympia Bears get to him as he clears the 25 up to the 27 or 8-yard line. So a pickup on that play for Ling of about 3 yards maximum, and the stop made by Anthony Clinton and Conrad Davis once again for the Olympia Bears. Ling gets 3, and it will bring up 3rd and about 6 for the Capital Cougars.
Maybe the biggest play of the game for the Capital Cougars here. If they don't get a 1st and 10 on this play, they'll get the ball back. It could be over.
Running room to the left, Capital to the football. Ling comes in motion from the right side. Back to throw. Petty winds up, loops it upfield, incomplete. Pass intended coming out of the backfield to Robert Harvey up the left sideline to the 35. Incomplete coverage for the Bears by Corey Ashline and Matt Valenta in the secondary. And Capital will once again, with 6:25 left in this football game, have to punt it away with Nick McCord. And with 6:25, the Bears have Conrad Davis deep. And Olympia will really try to milk the clock after getting this possession, leading 14-7 after trailing with 40 seconds into the game. And the fumble of the punt, but just bobbled right back to himself by Conrad Davis. 40-45 midfield, spins through a tackler down to the Capital 45 or 44-yard line. Davis bobbling the ball, but keeping his eye on it. Caught it in midair and then took off up the middle, spun through one tackle, finally down to the hands of Matt Garrison at the 44-yard line. The kick is 37 yards, but more importantly, on that one. A 16-yard return by Conrad Davis, and he bumped off one guy, spun right around him, and got some extra yardage. Out of the huddle comes Olympia. Running room to the left. Send Fennerty in motion through the formation. Handoff up the middle to Hotvet Linenkohl. Over the top to take him down, and underneath him Michael Camus for the Capital Cougars, and the gain on the play of a yard that time for Hotvet. But the clock running with 5:58 to go in this football game. Olympia 14, Capital 7, as this most unpredictable of football rivalries continues to be a bit unpredictable. Capital a slight favorite. Olympia winning the battle right now. Fennerty in motion with a delayed handoff to Hotvet. Finds room, breaks a couple of tackles over the left side inside the 40, and staggers ahead and dives down to about the 35-yard line. That'll be a 6-yard gain and give the Bears an 8-yard gain. An 8-yard gain and give the Bears a 3rd and 1. Matt Garrison on the stop for Capital at the Cougar 35. 3rd and 1, Olympia, 5:10 to go in this football game. Running room right, Casterline split that way. Double slots, quarterback sneak, and Harlan, I don't think he's going to get there. Straightened up right at the line of scrimmage as the Capital Cougars submarining the play. He also ripped the ball out of his hands, but he was down when Tyler Camus got it out of there. And the stop made on the play by Camus. And it's just inside the 35. No gain, essentially 4th and about a yard. No gain for Harlan on the sneak. Capital was ready.
That was a nice job in the middle by Millenbaugh that time, and also by Linenkohl. Really, Harlan took the ball and just went on contact, and they did a great job of stopping him. 4th down for the game.
4th down and less than a yard for Olympia straight ahead. Harlan on the sneak. Gets forward, then pushed back, and I don't know if he got that first down or not. It depends on the mark. We'll see. I don't think the spot will be in 1st down territory, but let's just wait. There was a little premature public address announcement of an Olympia 1st down, and the crowd reacted to that, but I'm not sure we're going to know that it's a 1st down. It's very, very close. He doesn't have the nose of the football at the 34. I think it's short. They will measure it, but I don't think he got a 1st down, but I'm not the one to decide. And certainly the spot was, I won't say unfavorable to Olympia or favorable to Capital. It was just spotted where it was spotted. They'll set down the chain, and did Harlan get it? No. Capital holds and takes over 1st down 10. The Cougars still have a breath of life at the Capital 34-yard line. So Evan Petty, the really untried sophomore, running the ball club up there, running room to the left for the Cougars now, and trailing by 7. Petty back to throw, has it in the hands of Garrison in the flat, and a little pattern to the outside left at the 40, and hauled down there after a gain of 6 on the play. Petty to Garrison for 6. Corey Ashline on the stop for the Olympia Bears, along with Peter Miller, the linebacker. Inside 4 minutes now to go in the football game. Capital and Olympia, the Bears leading 14-7. Holland Ling, the Capital pretty well bottled up throughout the game. He will split it out to the right side as Petty back to throw. Wants to find Ling, has it to him at the 45. He's dangerous, breaks tackles to midfield and down to the Olympia 48-yard line. Petty, a 12-yard pass completion to Hala Ling, tackled by Seth Monson, one of the Bear linebackers, along with defensive end Brian Lusby. 1st down 10 Capital at the Olympia 48. Gut check time for both ball clubs. 3.5 to go in the game, and what pressure on Evan Petty. 5'9", 165, the sophomore. Out of the huddle, Ling splits wide to the right for Capital. Garrison out to the left. Olympia leading 14-7. Handoff straight ahead. Not much going there. Reed Hafer on the carry as they try that quick hitter down to the 46. A 2-yard gain for Hafer. The clock continuing to run. Matt Boubion on the stop, along with my game ball on defense for Olympia. Anthony Clinton, that linebacker. What a job. out of the huddle. Second down, 8 Capital at the Olympia 46. 2:49 to go in the game. Petty back to throw. A diving catch made at the Olympia 36 by Casey Murray. Angled out toward the left sideline, a curl pattern, and he curled around that football and takes it down to the Olympia 36-yard line. So the pickup on that play, about 9 yards on the completion. Anthony Ballingett on the stop for Olympia as they had a nickel defense. First down, 10 Capital at the Olympia 36. Running room to the right. 2 receivers that way. Petty back to throw. The pass batted in the air. Intercepted by the Olympia Bears. There's a tip pass picked off by Conrad Davis. And I think we also have a flag on the play. The ball was tipped into the air, and the Olympia Bears, after the tip, had a diving interception at the Olympia 29, but a flag on the play. The pick made by Davis on the tip drill stops the clock with 2:31 to go in the football game. Olympia leading 14-7, and let's see what we have here as they confer. A dead ball encroachment against the Olympia Bears.
Right on the sideline, the Olympia defender, the cornerback came out there, Ballingat, I think, came up like he was going to rush, got across the line of scrimmage just before the ball was snapped.
And so instead of a turnover, Capital will pick up 5 yards on this play and not give up the football. What a huge break there. An encroachment against Olympia will take it down to the Bear 31. Capital with 2:31 to go in the game. Still a breathing and a 14-7 Olympia lead. Capital of the football, first down 10. Good running room both directions. Ling is the split receiver among others. Back to throw. Petty winds up, throws a deep ball intended to Hollow. Ling diving try. Incomplete in double coverage down the left sideline at the 2. Bears with good coverage on the play. Down there for Olympia, 2 defenders, one of whom was Seth Monson in that nickel package. And it'll be second down 5 at the Olympia 31 for Capital. Garrison splits out to the right side. Ling comes out to the near left side. Petty, the sophomore quarterback, calling signals. Back to throw, looking for Ling. Diving try at the 22. Does he have it? Yes. First down 10 Capital at the 22-yard line. And a nice effort there, a 9-yard completion. Petty to Ling for the first down. Ashline was there in coverage, and Ling diving for that football gets the first down. Capital. And what a great character test for the Cougars, and they so far responding, trailing by 7 at the Olympia 22. Running room to the right. Petty has his team up there, looks over the defense, turns, looks, winds up, throws the deep ball. It is in the air. Intercepted by Davis of the Bears at the 2, the 5, the 10, up the left sideline, 20, 25, cuts into the middle, 30, 35, 40, 45. He's at midfield to the 40, the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown flag on the play back at the 4. There is a flag on the play. The interception by Conrad Davis. And a 92-yard return with the interception as Petty just put that one up for grabs. And the only guy there near the football was the pickoff guy, Conrad Davis. But we have a penalty flag at the 4. And do the Cougars think we're going to get pass interference against the Bears? I don't think anything yet till the officials straighten it out. We have a minute 44 to go in the football game. Conrad Davis, a 98-yard return after picking off the pass down in the left corner of the field at the 2-yard line. And a flag on the play as they confer now, and let's 11 wipe out the touchdown, and Olympia wants a timeout. Capital first down 10 at the Olympia 11 after the pass interference call nullifies an Olympia touchdown. Here's a handoff inside and a fumble, and the Bears are on the football. Brian Lusby gets the ball, a handoff in the middle intended from the quarterback Petty to Hafer. Never really got there. The Cougars lose a yard on the play. The quarterback Petty will get a 1-yard loss, and Brian Lusby with the recovery, and the Bears look for a flag. No flag this time, and Olympia now with 1:39 to go has a chance to run this one out.
Brian Leslie that recovered the fumble for the Bears.
Force a fumble. Nobody will try to tackle a runner to get him to the ground. They want to hold him up and let him strip the ball.
Harlan, the quarterback, turns, hands it off to Hotvet, and he is just buried behind the line of scrimmage. Rifling through there is Michael Camus to put him down, number 76, all over the top of him, and buries him for a loss on the play, and Capital will take a timeout, a loss of 2.
Second and 12.
A very quick timeout. The Bears send Hotvet in a little bit of motion, handoff. Meanwhile, inside to Matt Valenta, who will bring it up to the 13, almost the 14-yard line. So on that one, Valenta picks up 3 for the Bears. Millenbaugh on the stop for Capital. Clock running with 1:08 to go in the game. And big bad news for Capital with Ben Kozad with a broken wrist. And that's their senior quarterback, and Evan Petty doing a nice job in reserve, but pressed into action. That's just a tough one to overcome and will really hurt the Cougars the rest of the way this year. Olympia to remain unbeaten if they can run the rest of the clock. Toss sweep outside to Valenta, circling left behind blockers, and he's up to the 15-yard line. Pick up of a couple for Valenta. Clock running with 38 seconds to go in the football game. Reed Hafer over there to make the tackle. That'll bring up for Olympia 4th down, nearly 7 yards to go. And they'll bring the punting team in, and Capital will spend its last time out with 38 seconds left in the football game. We've seen teams do what Larry just said. It's all in the hands of their strategist. Holland Ling deep for Capital as Fennerty standing at the 1. They need a good snap. They do get that, and Fennerty will kick it. Driving it up the field and away from Ling, and it will bounce out of bounds in Olympia territory around the 45-yard line. That's exactly where it'll be, at the 45, a 30-yard kick. And the Olympia Bears go to defense now as Capital one more shot from the Olympia 45. And with 31 seconds to go in the game, the Cougars here on KGY-FM 96.9 on your dial. Olympia, McClary, Shelton, and Elma. The Cougars need a miracle. Evan Petty, the sophomore quarterback, with a team up there. Running room to the left. Double wing formation. Back to throw. Petty winds up, throws it outside, and incomplete. No one home out at the 35. Garrison was intended receiver, but the quarterback just straightened up and aired it way over his head. Incomplete, Petty did. And Valenta in the coverage for the Olympia Bears. That ball not really near much of anyone, and it'll be 2nd and 10 Capital. 29 seconds to go. Olympia in front 14-7 in a very hard-hitting Spaghetti Bowl football game. Out of the huddle comes Capital, running room to the left for the Cougars. Ling split out to the right. Petty is sacked as Silverman is all over him as soon as the ball is snapped. Joseph Silverman boring up the middle is all over Petty for a loss on the play of 3 yards. Back to the 48. 14 seconds to go now on 3rd and 13. And Petty spikes the ball for an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass for Petty. And again on that last play, a 3-yard loss for Petty rushing. And now we're down to 10 seconds to go. 4th and 13 Capital. And all the Cougars can hope they can do here is get the home run ball.
Absolutely. They've got to go for the end zone. Hope that they either get a pass and a Bear defender falls down, or they get a pass interference against the Bears. The defensive penalty to keep this game alive.
And I want to waylay Todd McDougall for a second before he gets out of the press box. The Capital Cougars on 4th down. Back to throw. Petty winds up, throws it deep down the field of passes. Intercepted by Olympia at the 25, at the 30, 35. Conrad Davis with another interception, and the Olympia Bears get the win. An incomplete pass with the interception. Olympia 14, Capital Cougars 7.